Hello everyone, and welcome to this next video recording in the RICS Tech Partner Program series, one of our first recordings in the new year in 2024. My name is Andrew Knight and I sit within the thought leadership and analytics part of the organization with my role looking at the impact of data and tech and AI across the built and natural environment. And with over 110,000 members working worldwide, right across that property life cycle from land, planning and development, construction, valuation, brokerage, asset portfolio management, building surveying. It's a very, very wide canvas upon which data, tech and AI is having a very, very profound effect. And indeed, our members also work across all the various asset types, land itself, residential, commercial, in all its forms, alternative assets and infrastructure. So once again, a very, very wide canvas upon which data and tech and AI is having a very profound effect. And it's great to have Robin back with me again from Stonal. So before we talk about the white paper that we wanted to kind of discuss in brief this morning, it'd be great just to give a refresher to our viewers in terms of your backstory and the origin story of Stonal.
Yes, thank you for having me as the first invitee for this new year, Andrew. Super happy to come back here. So Stonal is a data management platform for large asset owners and asset managers. We work on every asset class, from residential to commercial real estate, retail, health, and so on. And we have built this platform since the end of 2017. So we are quite a young company, only 6 years old. We have focused this platform on automatically extracting information in documents and plans. I mean, in the building lifetime, you have dozens of people on site just collecting information for regulatory compliance, for ESG audits, on-site monitoring inspection, and all this knowledge is just lost. It's just put in a document, and the document could be saved as a PDF on your desktop, on your mailbox, but it's definitely lost. And what we have decided is to try to learn to algorithm to be able to extract this information in the most automated way as possible, to be sure to collect data quite efficiently, quite cheaply, and then be able to build all this data stack for our clients. So we are, I would say, quite early in the AI thing, since we have decided to focus the company at the end of 2017, and the space is growing quite well. We are now 150 people, making 20 million turnover, being profitable. So this is something we have been quite happy to surf this AI wave over the last years.
Indeed. No, and I'll be personally doing a lot of work on this whole sort of impact of AI across the built and natural environment. What do you see as, for our viewers, as the kind of different aspects of how one can use AI, particularly obviously in commercial real estate?
Yes, AI is a very wide word and wide definition. So in my perspective, we can divide AI in commercial real estate, but in most professional services organization in 3 main topics. The first one is machine learning. Machine learning is quite simple. We train an algorithm to do the exact same tasks we do as a human. So it's very basic. It's not so much intelligent. It's pretty dumb, to be honest. But the algorithm is able to do this task at an incredible speed and so much faster than you or me. It's not that the model is totally exempt of mistake. It's important to have it in mind. In machine learning, the machine and the algorithm can make some mistakes. And for instance, on document classification, document sorting, or document extraction of metadata within a document, you could have like maybe 10-15% mistake or inaccuracy, but a human will be at 15, maybe 20%. So the idea is not to be much better, but to be much faster. And it's a pure training. So you need to learn to the algorithm to train on the largest data set as possible. And just to give maybe one example, when we train our algorithm to extract metadata within a document, the algorithm erases the format of the document. It's just a chain of characters. And you ask to the algorithm to find or extract some valuable information like the rent, like the date of the signature, like the surface which has been rented, and so on. But you want to avoid the algorithm take the number of the page as an interesting number. When you have only a chain of characters, you have also the number of the page in the chain of characters. So all these kind of things, and it's pretty dumb. You need to train the model and just learn to the model that yes, the number of the page, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and X numbers are not interesting and are not valuable information. So how do you train the model? You just say that one number just in the middle of a lot of words or a sentence is not a valuable information. So this number has to be put into context with a double point or any a currency figure or something like that, just to give context. So it's pretty dumb, but machine learning is the most obvious AI deployment in professional services, and we are still very early on that. The second aspect of AI is predictive model. It is using AI to make some prediction on the future. And this is the most obvious thing in commercial real estate, especially for valuation. Everybody wants to know the trajectory of the prices in the future. So you would dream of the perfect AI model able to predict the prices. In our case, we use predictive AI for determining the exact amount of capex and work improvement on a building regarding if I take into account my net zero target, the evolution of the rent in a specific area, the evolution of the usage of the building. Can I convert an office building into a residential one, and so on. So what is the trajectory, the best trajectory the model is able to calculate from all these constraints? And the last aspect, it's something more topical. It's gaining access to data in a natural language, through a natural language interface. So this is all the stuff about LLM, large language model. We have, most of us, I hope, have experienced ChatGPT or any of this large language model. It could be Anthropic, Claude from Anthropic, Bard from Google, and so on, or even an open source model like Falcon from Meta. But it's a very, very new way to interact with your data. You don't need to dig deeply in your database to find some interesting correlation or having to extract the data in a CSV and make your calculation on Excel. You just have this interface, this chatbot, able to perform some intelligent tasks in front of you. And it's something we are working quite hard at Stonal. We have developed Stonal GPT, which is our own LLM trained on our own data. That's data for our clients, of course. And it's very, very impressive because it changed the way we interact with data. And I think it will make data more accessible for people, and it's something super important. We want people at every layer in an organization. It could be the CEO, it could be just the guy in charge of running a building, to take insightful decision. But taking insightful decision requires a lot of data analysis, and so now we could imagine to have access to data in a more convenient way for everybody. And for me, it's a kind of democratization of access to data, and it's super powerful.
No, I think that phrase I can never say it, but that democratization of access to data, I think, is really important. So obviously you're using AI very heavily in what you do at Stonal, but are you seeing a broader acceleration in the usage of AI across commercial real estate?
Yes, of course, acceleration is here, and hopefully, I would say, but the industry is still a bit laggard to other industries and other sectors. We need to be aware of that, and the main reason is that even the first layer, the first step of machine learning is not so much common in the industry, and a lot of tasks are still performed manually. It's not so uncommon to have even people at large asset managers, young graduate with a lot of fancy degrees and studies, just having to take documents, open them, and just extracting information manually. For me, it's just crazy. It's just the most boring tasks to do, and I'm sometimes super surprised to have such bright minds having to do such boring tasks. And I would say that on over professional services companies or industries, part of these tasks have already been outsourced to machine. Yes, the momentum is definitely accelerating, but we are still very still far from the optimum. And I'm pretty sure that the current challenges in the commercial real estate challenges linked to the increase in interest rates, of course, but also the decrease in demand due to the new usages, the low demand for offices, all this kind of stuff, and this stress which creates for the commercial real estate industry is a good thing to just take some time, take some breath, and say, okay, how do I need to change my way to work, and how can I be more productive in the future? And of course, for me, this will be huge drivers for change in the future years in this industry.
Yeah, as you say, it's an opportunity to look at the way we do things in the sector. And I guess so much of the discussion around AI comes back to data, not only the sense that you need good quality data to train and run your models, but also, I guess, particularly for real estate, we do suffer from both a lack of data and data that's not necessarily accurate. How do you see AI solving that problem, almost the fundamental problem that we need good quality data, both to make decisions and to train models?
Yeah, it's a bit an egg chicken problem. I mean, to train a very predictive and very accurate predictive model, you need to have proper data. If not, your model is just a theoretical model, and it's not. It has not been trained, or it has not been exercised on real data. But this data sets in the real estate industry are super rare. It's very difficult to have proper data set on the past. And when I say data set, it's not only having access to the list of all the transactions in a specific area. I mean also internally, how in my investment company I organize my investment committee to be sure to how I take the decision. What is the decision process in my investment committee? If I don't have a proper metric, proper analytics, and it's just an open discussion with people, I will never be able to translate this open discussion into numbers and weight to create a predictive model. So it's a total transformation of this industry, which is super reliant, which relies much on expertise, intuition, experience, and not so much on data. And again, when very large, I have this discussion with a very large asset manager a couple of months ago, and we discussed about how AI can be something helping me to take better decision. He said, but how you take your decision first? The first question is, how do you take this decision? If it's a non-organized process and just having open discussion, you will never be able to transfer this process to a machine or to an algorithm. So yes, data collection is really the first step. And again, machine learning, which is the best way to collect data, is not so widespread used in this industry. But I hope things are changing really, and we need just to accept that it's not for tomorrow. That okay, maybe the model is not perfect at 100% today, but again, 100% is not the accuracy rate of a human. And the main difference between an algorithm in machine learning and a human is if you give a task to a human, it will say, okay, I'm pretty sure at 100% I do a good job. The algorithm is honest enough to say, okay, I'm on this document, I'm sure at 70% that this is the right data. So it's very, very, even if accuracy is not 100%, you have the degree of probability and the range of confidence the algorithm is able to give to you and to say, okay, maybe on this document, my metadata extraction was not so good. So maybe you have to have a look on that. In the case of human work, it's like, okay, I'm 100% sure I'm right. So yeah, I think definitely AI and specifically machine learning could help to collect data, better data, and again at a cheaper cost. And it's super important. Everybody want to have access to data. It's logical. Nobody says I don't want data. Data is not interested. So everybody wants to have access to data, but the main problem right now is the cost. Collecting proper data is super costly if you do it manually. So machine learning could definitely help you to lower this cost